we are here to do your February reading. Those of you that don't know, I'm a psychic medium. I connect the astrology as well as I come to you for the moon energies live. Now, I am going to be talking about the moon energy coming through for you guys. Also, I'll be touching base with various aspects of your read. Now, in these reads, especially from a healer's perspective, I am a twin flame, so I do tend to tune into various areas from a spiritual point of view to actually get you on the path of where you need to be to get the best out of each month. So my reads are very unique in that I do look at various areas on top of your romance, because there are other areas that can hinder, become imbalanced. And again, these energies, especially when you're tuning in psychically, yes, we can talk about the astrological aspects, but they can be coming from other people as well to trigger those energies inside us. So by no means look at this completely as it could be just your energy going on, especially if you're tuning into a person. You know, all of us deeply are psychic, but we're unknowingly knowing the aspects of the laws of attraction. Now, I've looked at your crowning energy. I'm briefly looking at your chart of aspects that are coming up with this Leo moon. It is occurring on the 9th, and that does fall in your 4th house. And the 4th house, I love this placement, especially with your crowning energy. In general, moving into this month, when we look at the full moon in Leo, it theoretically is a purge. It's a release of a situation. And when we're releasing, you know, when we are healing, we can tend to look outside of ourselves. But the key to the situation is directly looking inside us and seeing how it directly relates. So if you find yourself feeling quite triggered or unorganized, it can be a theme that comes up. And the key to it is organization. Now, because Uranus is in your 1st house, it's you versus how the world sees you, how you show the world yourself within these changes, you know, going through these changes. Let me explain how this is going to work with you guys. Now, the first thing I was hearing in your career, there are changes happening. But also at a very spiritual level, you guys are going through a mass transformation because you have Chiron in your 12th house. So at times it can really affect your health. It can affect your frequency. Being around people can affect that, especially when you've got 12th house activated. This could well and truly be something that's already occurred, but you're working through those areas now. So with 12th house, it's the hidden, the subconscious mind, secrets, illicit enemies, illicit affairs. When you come up in a pain body experience, Chiron being in Aries is there from 2019 to 2027. Now, for you guys, and for all of us, it is in that house for that long. But it falls in different houses, obviously connecting to your own birth chart, which is more on point. But in general, towards a zodiac sign for you guys, it will be your 12th house. When you're looking at that, what you might find is when you're dealing with situations in your month, you can get triggered, but it's also really needing to listen to your intuition. Some of it might be old patterning that you're actually disconnecting from. And 9 times out of 10 when we're looking at Aries and Chiron, it's old memories, it's old situations, new situations triggering the old situations, and how we can actually evolve through those situations to become the better version of ourselves. As I said, it can be deeply psychic as well if you're grounded. Now, you do have the Emperor in reverse. And upon reading this card and looking at the clarifier, especially with the Leo moon coming through, it is in your physical foundation house of your psychological foundation, which again, 12th house and Chiron can affect our psyche, the way we're seeing things. When I had that placement, what I did find was, no sooner had I organised, did another thing come at left field, and that was due to Uranus being in Taurus. So you will find when we have directs and retrogrades with that planet, and it's always making aspects, squaring 9 times out of 10 is harsher, and it can come through regardless of being retrograded or direct. It depends on the aspects it's making, which I will be making videos based upon with those aspects, how to keep grounded, how to look at it, you know, like a weather forecast, so you can cope with the energies of what's happening during the month. I'm seeing solutions to these scenarios for you guys. And part of it is, especially when we're meditating upon a situation, how to balance things out. 9 times out of 10, if we haven't chosen any given one path, we're actually in hermit mode, going through the process of the third eye, and you do have a purge coming up, but not from a point of view of being debilitated by it. Yes, some of you can, in ascension symptom layman's terms, but it's temporary. More from the perspective of there is going to be a solution this month. Now, with the Leo moon, being that it's a detachment, it's a release, it can be a light bulb moment we have, a eureka moment. You may be looking at endings, parents, home, domestic issues, psychological foundation, and all does come down to not necessarily compartmentalization. Yes, from a third eye perspective of understanding and comprehending what's going on, either with you, a situation, a work-related dynamic, a romance situation. Again, I have pulled your romance house, and I will get into the read in a minute. But looking at it from an organisational point of view of what you have control over versus what another person has, you have no control over that. But the laws of attraction are, if you're in alignment, you attract all these good things to you. We do have, let me see, we do have Mars that is going to be, which is governed by Aries and Scorpio, okay? Which is very much, how do I put it? Mars, Scorpio's deeply psychic. At the moment, Aries also isn't. Aries is a Chiron placement. It's the first house energy. For you, as I said, it falls in your 12th house. So again, you know, with this, it's anything to do with farming. It's also to do with the things we're fighting for. It's the planet of war. Now, it is going to be in Mercury. And with that energy, Mercury, what am I talking about? I was supposed to say in March, on the 22nd, it's going to be in Capricorn. Now, when it's in Capricorn again, Capricorn is a very responsible sign. And for you guys, this is your 9th house. Now, the 9th house is, again, the spiritual house, the religious house. So, you know, it can be that you're fighting inside yourself and you're trying. When we get into protective mode, or there's things that you feel in order to achieve something, you have to fight very hard. What tends to happen is you get the polar opposite. And with your first card, you have the Emperor in reverse. Now, this card in the upright position is, again, connecting in with organisation and leadership. And with your psychological foundation falling in, it does make complete sense. It's like, potentially some of you, there is an imbalance within your own energy of hunter-gatherer. Also, your perspective viewing towards a partnered energy in a masculine format. You may have a perspective based on that person of what they're not doing. Now, ironically enough, which is something I'm going to be creating because I've been using this tool for a very long time and it's really benefited me, and that was for sanity's sakes of trying to move out of like attracting like, really having a better life, having more control of my own domain, my own frequency, the things that were being attracted towards me. So the more you're willing to do work on yourself, 9 times out of 10, it's because you've reached a state. And that state is very much acceptance of a reality of, okay, what power do I have to actually change this? I no longer want to feel this vibration. When we are feeling certain things and we're unaware of the psychological aspects, the spiritual aspects, we can be quite stuck in a loop. So we do tend to go to readings to try and find a solution in it, but also that always the solutions are deeply embedded inside us. So when we are looking outside of ourselves, the solutions are all inside ourselves, but we're doing that from a perspective sense of trying to gain knowledge, wisdom, ascension, comprehension, closure. This is really the energy of what's coming through, especially with the 12th house activation. And I do feel for your sign in particular, you're trying to understand the reality of endings, changes, compartmentalization. Where do I go from here? How do I achieve certain targets? Some of the power, it might have been that you've been having to be very masculine in your own life for a very long time, meaning hunter-gatherer at all times, really not having enough time to fall into your frequency of your feminine frequency, and that's males and females. And when I say the feminine aspect of things, your intuition, your feelings, instead of considering others before yourself at all times, it is a bit like the Libran scale, which uniquely we do have Juno in Libra going into retrograde. Now that is occurring on the 8th of February. So Libra for you guys is going to be in your 6th house. So when it does come to your romance, your 6th house is connecting in with work environment, habits, routine and health. It's with those energies involved. We're finding balance. Again, it's like the Justice card, trying to find balance, and you do have one of those cards coming up. Now, I'm going to get into your read. I won't go into that any further unless I feel an energy is really honing in on it, where we can get into it. Now, the first frequency that's coming through this year is a vibrational number 4. So, relating into this year, you're not quite sure at this point what you're going to try and achieve. You may have some common themes that you want to address, but again, with it being a 4 and it is in reverse, you haven't quite compartmentalized certain things in your mind, and you may be due to feeling agitated with the 12th house. If you can get grounded, you may perceive things from a different perspective, and 9 times out of 10 it's only after a situation has transpired that you then get grounded and you can gather what the heck has gone on, which is normal. We come from the 3rd eye, so thinking, oh wow, what just happened? Especially last month, it was a very heavy frequency. The blessings in this situation of what's going to come, because you have gift in the upright connected to this. Getting the feminine energy balanced is going to be very important in the first 2 weeks. With the Leo moon, if you can go inside yourself instead of going outside, it's almost like you're trying to get a balance, but you're looking around. You know deep down there's a vibration going on, and you're going, got housework to do, got to go to work, got to do this, got to do that, male or female. Sometimes if we pause for 2.5, we actually get more done after the fact because we're in complete alignment. But our ego tells us, no, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. Meanwhile, you can be getting angrier and angrier, especially with 12th house activation, that you can become imbalanced. And it can be an avoidance of the downloads that you're getting spiritually, potentially what a solution is. I'm feeling if you just take 5 during the Leo moon, 3 days before, 3 days after, that the frequency will last, and it generally can roll over 2 weeks to 30 days. So we still move through, and as we ascend, we've gained the information, we've used the tools. Going inside yourself and seeing what's there, you may discover something about yourself that you didn't know before. Now, I am feeling you guys are trying to move forward and to create a different life, but part of you are getting, due to conditioning, is getting pulled back very 3D. This is a purge, okay, but it's a purge not from a point that you could be triggered or you could get angry, more from a perspective sense that you're looking at things, because there is a release, something you let go of in the past, and it could have even been in a financial level. Now, spiritually, when we do go through ascension symptoms, we can disconnect from people, places and things, from jobs, but our childhood conditioning takes us back to, have I done the right thing? Have I been responsible enough? Which is really micromanaging your humanistic experience. Releasing those expectations, again with the 1st house, change naturally, innately happens. If you can accept that inside yourself, but you protect, and it will mirror, it will go back and forward. It's coming to a pause state where that's okay. Just because things did not turn out the way you had intended them to, it may come up during the Leo moon, but you need to be looking at it from the perspective of, it doesn't mean to say the same outcome's going to happen moving forward. That's detachment, and that's necessary at this point. Best saying I've ever heard, you can take my money, you can't take my time. You currently have time. So while we have time, we have the opportunity to change the future by the mindset, by the steps we directly take forward. And I do feel your finances is in high gear at the moment. If you're working and you're not taking time to listen to your insights, it will catch up, and I'm feeling this to be a theme. I do feel this could be a very busy month for 50% of Taurians. The other 50 may have purged the aspect of the belief system, the connection, the requirement, and it's not that we don't need money. We do, but you find when you're going through a spiritual transformation, everything you directly need, providing you're taking direct action, will always be given to you. It will be at a very simplistic level, and I do know, especially with the placement of Uranus and Taurus, if you've done work on yourself, especially with your zodiac, it's very Venus orientated, and it's very almost, you do have luck when it does come to beauty and luxury and things to that degree. I mean more from the perspective of, you could be very have a lot of luck when it does come to seeing something and it being at a physical budget and being able to grab it, but the worth of it can be very high, and you will tend to buy things that are worth, what would I say, you can see eye for detail. You'll also wait till the situation is like at a better price, and you will always be able to sell that item at top dollar. You do have an eye for those details, but I do feel many of you have spiritually disconnected from the necessity for niceties, in a sense of fancy house, fancy this, fancy that. And it's not that you don't want it, it's more you're moving into a spiritual sense now, and this is what your astrology is pulling you into right now, to have this beautiful, deep, transformative state. I just feel this really beautiful energy coming through with you guys this month, where it's like you're, how do I put it? I feel somebody that is going to speak to you. There is going to be a eureka moment. And with this eureka moment, it's going to be something they say, something you hear. You're having this process that you're going through, and you're practicing self-love. And it almost will feel very emotional, because you may have an epiphany that, how do I put it? There is a visitor coming in. Now, this can be a love interest. Some of you, yes, this is. But it's also, you know, with the laws of attraction, when we have come to that peaceful place where we deeply love ourselves, where we come home to ourselves and realise that of what we were seeking outside was always within. When you do have that eureka moment and you realise that you can practice that self-love on self, when this energy does come in towards you, so it's 50-50. Some of you are working through this block already. Some of you are coming home to yourselves, and there can be emotional situations coming up where you're going, wow, you know, really having to say no to people, really saying yes to things. Really, when somebody is saying something towards us, there can be the mirror, but 9 times out of 10 it can be, yes, we take it on board, we assess what's going on. Other times it can be, if we're saying something, what is the mirror of that situation? I just feel you guys are really wanting to do things that are more connected to you. But I'm tuning into this energy where you're looking at the old life you had versus the new life you had, and you're coming to terms with it. And it's some of you, this can be quite a painful situation. Others of you, especially spiritually, when you have 12th house activation, it can be due to a person passing over. This can be most present tense, or, you know, quite a long time ago. This could have even been a partnership, a person who passed over. It will very personally depend on how this fits. With the 12th house, they can actually be guiding you. And a lot of people ask, when you're psychic, how do you tune into your loved ones passed over? When you're first developing that gift, what you do tend to find is the way they will connect with you is from senses, from old memory systems. So when you do fall into the meditated state and you're thinking on them, they will, and you think, what would this person have said? What would they have thought in this situation? The memory that you go to is their telepathic communication directly to you. And the more you develop it, the more you listen to that, and the more you're grounded, you're in the 3D and you're in the 5D, you're able to distinguish between the messages. I do feel you guys are going to have messages from beyond. I also feel they're trying to guide you through this month to that brand new door. And I directly did have a situation in January where I did notice a lot of synchronistic patterns in the collective, where they were getting a lot of psychic downloads. And again, Neptune being in Pisces is very psychic, and we are going to have the Pisces moon this month. The Pisces moon for you guys is in the 11th house. Now, the 11th house is connecting in with friends, clubs, associates, aspirations. And again, I did mention before I looked at that, it's like your dreams. They're trying to take you towards your dreams. But, you know, The Capricorn frequency in general for everyone is really asking us to look at things, and we're being very critical. It's like the microscope on situations. Okay, how much energy am I willing to put into this? If I'm wanting to build something, I better love it, but I better love myself, because it will become taxing on you spiritually. So I am seeing them trying to guide you moving forward, and I do feel they're asking you, and they're getting angry, they're asking you, let go. Let go of the old story. It doesn't mean the same's going to occur. Take the beauty of the memories and move forward. Your vibration is coming into balance, but I do feel there can be some legalities, there can be some contracts you're going to sign. Again, we're having Mercury retrograde. So Mercury is going to be, where am I? In Pisces again, subconscious mind. Use your intuition. But it's what's going on in the inside and the hidden. Some things aren't going to be directly shown to us. And generally speaking, during a Mercury retrograde, there's issues with technology, our communication, the way we see things. We might be painting things as fine, but not really showing the world. So it's what people aren't saying. It's what's hidden from you. It's what, and it's almost like the hermit energy of needing to stop, needing to be organized, needing to listen, needing to nurture ourselves to move forward. These are the key tools. You guys have some major plans, but I do feel you may have chosen to delay some of these things, which I'm going to pull a chakra card, because these are your guides are telling me they're really pointing to the future for some reason. They're looking at it almost in a sense of, no, it's okay, follow your intuition, you know this or that. Know this or that in layman's terms of what you're wanting to achieve, but potentially some of you might not have taken action for fear of failure. Yeah, inner child, okay? This could be a parent figure. This can be you to do with your power, concerned maybe. And the funny thing is, when we do have this chakra activated, it is the Leo moon energy. The yellow frequency is connected to this chakra. Now with this chakra, potentially at times we wait because we think another person has a solution, or potentially, if this moves here, it's like, you're operating within your chakra matrix as a navigation system, but you're also utilizing it in a mindset conditioned way that potentially, because another person hasn't made a choice, it means you're not allowed to make a choice. And not all of us do that, but sometimes when we do feel very stuck, we're being compassionate, we're trying to be understanding, a bit like a Libra, because Juno's going retrograde. People deem Libras as indecisive, but it's not. Librans are the Justice card. They're also, theoretically, there's many judges, there's many mediators, so it's never that they're making a decision similar to a Virgo. It's black, it's white, okay, that's how it is. There's shades of grey in between. There's various ways, there's comprehension, there's balancing of situations. So, having all the information out in front of you is a way then that you can gain all perspectives, which is what we do in Ascension. We come through the third eye, plus the pain body experience, the egoic experience. We have a wound. We then create a protective mechanism, which I deem as the Band-Aid. Once we peel that Band-Aid off, all the wounds uncover. Choices 9 times out of 10 we feel that because another person hasn't articulated, hasn't moved. Potentially sometimes we can see the potential, but we're not looking at what the potential is here right now. So we potentially can stop making decisions because we're waiting on other elements. And if you're doing it from a balanced state of mind, that's fine. But it can be where this chakra can be imbalanced. And this could have been a situation that's been going on for a long time. It runs down to an 8. So from the 8, it's a bit like the Fool card. Infinite ways it can go. This could be a very spiritual connection, a very spiritual situation you're looking at with the 12th house, and you're needing to move forward. There can be someone coming in and you might be faced with a choice. This can be in romance. This can also be with someone working with you as a spiritual healer. And I'm also seeing documentation. I'm seeing job, but it's something to do with having to make a choice really strongly. Having to make a choice. And I do feel it's coming up very strongly in the first week. This choice you're going to have to make is going to be positive. Even if you feel the choice you're making is potentially taking you off path, if anything is ever destined, it's always going to come back around. Alignment is alignment. If a person isn't in alignment, you can't wait. You know, that does catch up, but you attract what you are. So the more in alignment you are, the better situations you attract, including that direct person. Some of you may be thinking about upskilling. But again, you need to ask yourself the question, because there's two things coming. Now, moving forward, you know there's going to be many lessons. You're hoping, and some of you might be tuning into a person and saying, okay, I hope this person's learned their lesson, because don't come to me with BS. That's fine. There could be a conversation with a person from the past at a romantic level that is wanting to return. Now, potentially, if you're thinking they need to make a choice to come to me, or when they come to me, I'm going to have to make a choice. We're making choices in every day, and I do feel there can be a major conversation coming up. Now, with Venus being in Aries, it does mean your Aries and Chiron placement will come up. So, forewarned, pre-armed, when the Leo moon hits, it's right near the time that Juno goes retrograde. We're going to have Venus in Aries. It's also your 12th house activation. So there can be conversations going on about, and this will happen in romance, be it you're together or you're not. There can be situations arising in your mind or something being shown to you. Now, people from the past 9 times out of 10 can come back during a Mercury retrograde. And, you know, a lot of the collective do try to express it from the point of view of that person better come correct. But providing you're correct, you will be able to be very similar to Juno or Libra with your Queen of Swords, King of Swords, and be very direct in your decision making. So, you know, fearing the fact that a person might not be coming to correct to you, that's happening every day in life, where we create healthy boundaries. Everything is a lesson, everything is movement. So even a simplistic conversation of something that was hidden from you, I do really feel this is going to come up. Some of you may be actually seeking out spiritual healers. This can also be from a point of view that you're getting downloads and you're trying to understand them. Others of you might be considering that a person or yourself is needing a balancing in some shape or form. It can be through chakra system, it can be through regression work, quantum healing, psychiatry. It's the 12th house. Now, some of you may just develop tools in general of how to deal with that, especially with the physical foundation energy coming through of this new moon. Really looking at something, coming to a crunch and going, okay, what can I do to balance my energy? 9 times out of 10, the way I do that, I listen to my energy. So it can be, okay, am I agitated? Go for a walk, get fresh air, remove yourself from the environment, adequate sleep. It can be, you know, making a doctor's appointment. It can be just having space for self, going into hermit mode, but not isolating yourself, because if we can't physically remove the blockages or the trigger points, because the trigger points all come from inner child work, which is this chakra, then what can we do to actually alleviate that? Really making an action plan. Keeping busy can actually alleviate us going back into the third eye at all times. But if we're using that from a perspective of avoiding the third eye and the things that are coming to us both psychically and through our intuition, you will find you'll start waking up at 3 a.m. The universe does work with us that are going through ascension in a very unique way. Now, let's get into your read. So this is the overall energy. I do feel a major decision. I do feel there's a person coming into your life. This is somebody from the past. This can either be a healer, a family member. I'm feeling this is a person you have a very deep connection with. This deep connection, though, it can either be at a love level or at a spiritual level, but they're a very important piece of this puzzle to help you move forward, and they're going to bring light into your life, even if they look dark. It's always, you know, bright after the darkest day. You get my point. Let's just move into this. Now, this card uniquely comes through, and this is in the place of money and work, things you're working on. Again, vibrational alignment. there is going to be a situation coming up, I do feel, around Juno retrograde. And this Juno is potentially feminine energy. She also is linked into justice. She's in Libra, or Libra is in Juno. Going retrograde, an old situation from the past can be coming back. This can be at a financial level, a spiritual level, or romantic level, because it's sort of marriages, contracts, partnerships, all of that saga. And again, she is in your 6th house, which is 6th house is how you work, how your health, how it affected you. How it affected your general life and the way you would put your energy into these situations. Now, if you're looking at it from a very balanced perspective, this is going to help you. It's also the laws of attraction with your finances. If you're waiting on finances coming in, there's going to be communication. And oddly enough, I do feel there is... How do I put it? What are they showing me? It's odd. It's sort of like if you're trying to sell something, I'm seeing you're getting more than what you usually do. And during a Mercury retrograde, 9 times out of 10, that's the way it goes. Yes, do read the fine print, and that's the clarifier. It's a letter, okay? And I know the light's there, so it does hinder it. So communication, email, read your fine print. I'm also seeing movement, but also cast a critical eye on making any major decisions when it comes to throwing a lot of lump sum money out. If you have to, you have to. Make sure you dot all your P's and Q's. I'm just, just a matter of fact. But I am seeing you might be in a rush to do something and you do need to be mindful of it. Now, most readers talk to you about this in layman's terms, but I'm feeling this could potentially be, for some of you, a very large purchase. Okay, make sure you have insurance, make sure you have your contract, make sure you read the fine print, get somebody to read over it if you're going to do that, and keep your receipt. You're better off to wait till March if you can. If you can't, don't delay. You still have to always, regardless of any reader, you must come back to your own subconscious mind and make your own decisions. We're merely here as a messenger, not as a dictatorship. You've got to connect in the dots and decipher between the frequencies. And 9 times out of 10 you'll find, especially with 12th house, tip for ascending into your psychic gift, your fine-tuning of these frequencies will get to the point you'll know truth from lie. Okay? Because that person's vibration, i.e. a reader or something that's coming through in a reading, you will be able to remove your ego from the situation in your trigger point, and you will know how it's relevant to you and what is relevant to you, and it won't harm you any. Your money, I do feel, is going to balance out. I do feel some of you are actually going to have a position given to you. I just keep feeling this energy of very, very fast movement. It's almost like no sooner have you detached that everything is coming at you a left field. So it's going to be critical that you guys are very grounded. I do feel if you had, and again, there's a secondary message. Some of you, if you have done a wrong situation with finance, it can be coming up to the table where, in written form, I'm not saying this is how all of you are, right? But there is one particular message coming through. This card does remind me very similar to the tarot deck, where it's talking about the aspects of manipulation, which we can't, how do I put it? If a person has manipulated you for something, almost being over a barrel, that's the energy coming through. You'll know what this is relating to, but there is a contract. If there was something funny on a contract, I'm seeing this potentially as coming back again. This could be a subject matter that comes up. Again, I still keep being shown, move forward. Your guides are saying to you, it is what it is. Let it go. If it's going to be balanced out at a financial level and shared, let it go. It's okay. Because what you're going to get on the aftermath is that fresh slate, new beginning, and everything's going to be fine. So they're saying, any choice is a choice. It's the past is the past. Just move forward. I'm going to pull another card because I'm feeling base chakra. And I'll tell you the reasons why I'm feeling base chakra. I'm feeling it's home related. This can be a contract, this can be movement from one to another, it can be an old energy coming up, it could also be a wheel. Your ancestors are trying to communicate with you, but this is bringing your dream, okay? Messages, signs, symbols, guidance, that you know what this is. You will know what it is. Yep, I knew it, okay? Mercury retrograde, which is the throat chakra. Yes, so it's confirmation it will be coming up. You know this will be coming up. To do with an old situation, old family-related dynamic, old asset, old finances. But it's going to balance out. But you do have a lot of good things coming. Some of you are going to land yourself a very, very good job. Family. Very 12th house, 10 of fire. Now again, I am saying this is Mars in Capricorn. Capricorn is wanting us to move to that next level, but sometimes when we're stuck in a loop, we're kind of not vibrating at that level, you know, especially when we're having a spiritual walk-in. Now this card is relating into your tribe, the people you're mixing with, your family, a past tense energy, a home-related dynamic, because, you know, definitely we could look at this as the Cancer placement in the chart, family and home. For you guys, that energy comes through in your third house. So again, during Mercury retrograde, you know, the hustle and bustle, getting things organised. There's a lot going on. It's going to be very busy. And again, potentially, something that hadn't reached its final state, Judge in reverse, something that may directly be out of your control is going to come to a head. But in a positive sense, it's going to close out. It's also asking you, with the 10 of fire, to ask for help if you need to. Now, this is connecting in with your subconscious mind. Out of balance, which is 4th house, which I mentioned. Looking at things, how it's directly impacting your health. You know, by this chapter lagging on and not being finalised, it will start to impact, and that's even in any choices that you're needing to make this month, even during a Mercury retrograde. Sometimes if it has been a subject that's been there for 3 to 6 months, what you do tend to find is even at a Mercury retrograde, if it was already something you had been thinking on and had made a decision on prior, there's no shade in making that decision during the Mercury retrograde because you had your heightened aha, epiphany moment prior to that. You just hadn't directly applied the energy. Some of you, this is going to be resolved, but I do feel it to be very busy. It's also, if you need to get advice and you're having to do too many things, be too many people, your organisation skills are going to be absolutely crucial. And the things you don't have to do, don't take on. Create healthy boundaries, say no where you need to, be it with family, tribe, partnerships. Don't overwhelm yourself this month. Some of your energy is coming through similar to a Virgo, in that frustrated to a point where, and you may have Virgo somewhere in your own personal chart, where potentially you're looking at it black and white and you're saying, look, okay, I'm going to have to do that too. I'm going to have to do that too. Before you know it, you're overwhelmed. Are there certain things that, you know, as long as it gets done, is that okay? It's a bit like, you know, frustration when you're trying to clean your house and you do it a particular way. It's your way. It's your vibe. It's your routine. And then somebody else comes in and you've been fully loaded with baggage and situations going on, and they do a tidy up. It's not completely to your liking, but it's done. And in a few weeks' time, potentially, you could really get it back on track. So it's cool. That's good enough. That's really something coming through here. Non-essential tasks pushed to the side. Really get a chart this month and jot down the key targets and responsibilities of what are yours versus what are somebody else's. If you don't have to do them, hand them back, especially with family if there's conflict and you're being dragged into it. If you find it's getting too much, step back, because it can be too much going on. Some of you may have a family member, this could be you or them, there could be a separation that has not finalised yet, that can be taking a toll on you. And are you waiting for the judgment to come through? This can be finalisation. Again, I'm seeing a lot of paperwork around you guys. but I do feel it's really important with the 12th houses to have that balance. Now, your health overall, I do feel it's going to get grounded. And again, I am feeling you're probably going to pep up because all of a sudden there is going to be a shift. As long as you can keep yourself very balanced, very organised, this communication, any aspect of communication you're really hanging for and you're like, you know, I've been waiting on that, landing that great job, or whatever this information is you're directly tuning into, it's showing that after you get this communication, you're going to be incredibly happy, and it's something that hasn't come to an end. And it is very truthful, grounded information, very reality based. I feel this is most positive moving through the Leo moon in the next 2 weeks. Now, when we come to the Pisces new moon, it's painting the picture of what you want to achieve, and it can even be within a relationship, because this is sort of what it's coming through as, and I've got your relationship house in a moment. But at the same time, what I am feeling, be honest, but don't be so to the point where you can't tweak that plan. And I think if you guys are problem solving in a relationship or connected to a person coming in, you know, paint the picture, be in the vibration, be in the frequency of what you're wanting to achieve, but at the same time, also be flexible, because Uranus is in Taurus, and this is, you might need to be a little bit flexible with the bright picture that's going to be painted, because there can be left turns, right turns through that process, but nevertheless, I am being shown by you guides you are going to achieve that. Now, sometimes when energies come through in a read, this can occur next month, but I'm feeling this is more so this month. So regardless, there is this energy of movement, and definitely if you're waiting to hear from somebody, it's already come up 3 times in your read. So be open to that, and the rest will flow. What you're not seeing, yes, this person's changed. Now, when I get this card, especially because I do read for spiritual connections, this can be a brand new person coming in that you haven't seen in a long time, or in general, it's a person you knew and they're just totally different, and you're like, how is this possible? They have been through hell and back, okay? And they've stepped up. They've stepped up into their own energy as a king or a queen, and they're very different now, but this is how they're going to view you as well. This is a very nice feeling. Some of you also are in general seeing people from the past. You've changed, they're changed. Take it from today. Make choices based on the future of how you wish to proceed forward. This is also family conversations, you know, connecting in with the old, where you guys see yourselves moving forward, how you apply the energy so that you can get the best out of the family connections, the groups. I also see you guys maybe even assessing any sort of hobbies you were doing, maybe changing that up and not wanting to do that anymore, because you're more relating into, I'm seeing tactile taste, where it's almost like taste testing. That's what I'm saying. So some of you might be going out and whining and dining, but taste testing in a sense in life of potentially looking at your own life all of a sudden going, oh, what if I wanted to try this food? What if I wanted to try that food? What if I've only been eating bangers and mash? Because you guys like the niceties in life, but any change can require an open mind. That not all the dark situations, the tower moments equal, you're going to keep having a steak dinner, sausages, you know, a mashed potato. And that's what they're trying to show me. And this is why your guide's really saying, look, we understand that. We vibrationally respect, understand that vibration you're feeling, but what you're getting is going to be better, and it's actually what you've manifested. This is where the shift is coming from. Crowning energy in love. Just as you detach, this is when it happens. This is when movement in life happens. Sometimes when we have too much of a mind of how something needs to be, it's a purge, okay? Maybe you feel nothing's going to happen. Maybe you feel everything's going to stay the same. Maybe you feel you can't make choices right now. However you're feeling, again, it's due to the Leo moon and the way you're going to operate plus your 12th house. It's like you might feel very fatigued, and it's an aspect of an egoic death. It's a purge of that. It can be coming through in you or another person. So even if you've already been through that, You can also tune into other people around you. Again, egoic depth, Leo moon, okay? That's when it's happening, and I have mentioned that 3 times. With this, looking at the energy of the past, you know, you've gone through a series of challenges, a series of very unfortunate events. This is within a relationship or directly connected to this person you're tuning into. You have had the tools. Potentially you're detaching from the perspective that you can change this person's mind, alter the way they're operating. However you're releasing this and you're coming down, you're reflecting back quite correctly of you did what you did, it is what it is. You can't do much more. Again, you're going to be making a judgment based on what currently is in front of you right now. And there can be some, and this can be actually a solution for you guys, okay? Very separate. Those of you who are on a ascended path, you're a spiritual connection. I'm feeling as though if you had to move or you needed to do something and something's shaken up and you've delayed making certain choices because you have been theoretically waiting on being a bit like a dart on the right location of the dartboard, or you might miss the bus. I'm being shown do the polar opposite. Actually, you've got, because 9 times out of 10 we stop doing things. This detachment coming up is perfect. If you guys have been needing to make a certain decision, I do feel you're ready to do that. It's like, okay, I'm running out of time here. I've got to make some major decisions to balance the physical foundation. I'm going to pull a chakra card. But something from the past is coming. Yeah. Again, family is coming up. It feels a thing. You're linked in very close to these connections, and again, a lot of things. This is 3. This links into last year. Last year was a vibrational 3. 5, 6, 7. Change. Spiritual connection. I'm telling you, this is a very important connection. Now, you may be waiting on someone and they're having a divorce. You may be waiting on somebody and they were finalizing situations. You also in your own life might be doing these things. Out with the old, in with the new, however that resonates. You're also understanding, as you have power, these people have power. As you have wounds, they have wounds too. And you're bringing everything together and starting to understand things. It also could be a compassionate situation linking in with children that had stalled things or made you look at it from a different perspective. And I do feel a lot of inner child wounds potentially might have been coming up at the end. Again, the Leo moon, all yellow on the deck, family related. At the heart of it, ego. Now, ego. When I describe that, we need it for hunter-gatherer. We need it to empower us. We need it, similar to the Capricorn frequency, to achieve goals and targets. They're saying you're not stuck. You do know. I'll read the card and I'll articulate the reasons why. And I do feel you guys are going through, it's either you or the person you're involved with, be it you with them or not, you're directly tapped in. This is a 6, which again, number of mankind. It's a false sense of entrapment, being over-focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts. These things you do directly have control over, regardless of where you are in the connection. You do have the 4 of Swords, which to me is always a purge. Out with the old, in with the new. It doesn't feel like it at the time. It's exhausting. Family, tribe, external worldly situations happening in it. That's why I do the read the way I do it, so you can understand as without, as within. Alignment and things coming directly attracted to you. At the heart of it, this person or you is going through a spiritual transformation. It's a blockage, but you're working together on this. This is either A, you're both working on it, you're having a mirror going on, and you'll notice it in different ways. And as soon as you start applying the energy to it, that person will start transforming as well. It's like lead by example. We can't control other people, we can control us, I'm telling you. There can be for some of you a family subject that's coming up into focus that does need balancing. There also can be a contract in a sense of alimony. It can be custody, things to that degree coming up in assessment. Now, last month we had the Cancer moon in eclipse. Then we had the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. It shook everything up, and at the last 2 weeks, the energy was almost really showing the neon sign. The wheel sign, I'm telling you. So you would have seen subjects to that degree in your own personal lives, in a large subject matter. And again, for you guys, the 9th house links in with your spiritual beliefs. That can be marriages, contracts, partnerships, because religion can link into that too. What you've learnt, children, somebody at a distance, and the traveling, like how's this all gonna in a map location come together. And again, judgment, waiting on that, a person connecting in, feeling stuck, seeing their side of the fence, seeing your side of the fence. But this can all be past tense connected. Then you have, moving forward, the Ten of Water in reverse. I'm seeing both at a financial and spiritual level, as well as at a family level, there is an imbalance here. Both energies, you'll either see this playing out in your own life, or it could be happening on both sides of the fence, but it's very trying to bring everything together. It's a bit like a wedding coordinator, and that could be something that's going on, because, you know, I don't say things in vain. When universe gives me the words, it can directly relate to you, so take it as you will. It's the distortion of so many things going on. I need to simplify. Less is more. I do feel the knowledge and acknowledgement. You're hoping, you're waiting. But again, when we're hoping, it can be the gut instincts. It can be during the Leo moon, the choices. That direct chakra in the inner child wound, and the ability to make choices and move forward and have power. Power in the Leo energy, ironically enough, is from your subconscious mind and your own actions, but we can't control another person. Any choice is a choice. No choice is a choice. A choice is a choice. I feel you've observed something and you know you need to deal with this. If you do have power in this situation and you can change a situation, step forward, do what you need to do. If it's not on your side of the fence and you feel it's becoming very tense, holding on to hope, if you need to go into hermit mode to do that and be patient, that's fine. Gather information as the weeks progress, but don't stay stagnant, because it will come about anyway. The foundation of this. There's some hidden information, okay? There's some, you know, to the core. There's a lot you do know. Potentially this person might be not opening up as much, or potentially you're still going through the process of trying to understand what all of this means in your life, where you're going to go, how the finances are going to be, how love is going to play out, how the past directly is, you know, linking in with the future. And I feel you're trying to make an action plan in general. You do love this person. But regardless of if you're single and you have been through the ringer, I feel you're not wanting anything but love. But I do feel many of you, I'm going to pull another card. Some of you, the give and take may have been out of balance. You might have been looking at a person as hard done by, but that's not to say they're not. It can be very, very relative. That could be you or them. Yeah, lack of movement forward, understanding the reasons why. But I do feel this communication can even be giving you the information why. And after the Leo moon, I do feel potentially anywhere between the beginning of the month to mid-month, many of you may have more information, but it's going to more come from going step by step. So it could be for some of you getting dribs of information. You've got to look at the signs and synchronicities up in your mind to decipher what's going on and why there's been no movement. Understanding that, well, sometimes when there's no movement, the universe is protecting you, doors being closed, but that's coming to an end. So they're showing me this is a very temporary situation. It might have gone on for a long time, but as you move through that energy, I'm feeling as though a solution is going to come at left field. Now I'm going to pull 3 cards for romance. Well, they're going to pull them for me. Yeah, very harsh situation potentially can be playing out, connecting them with this person. Again, the energy can swap. There is a change here though, evolution. So kindness in reverse. And I'm hearing being cruel to be kind. So this could be that you're looking at the person and thinking, oh, why are they being so harsh? Okay, kindness in reverse. There can be situations from the past preventing you from doing more than you're actually doing. And in a transformative sense, you know, this person might not have returned. There could be situations that you're dealing with, they're dealing with. And a lot of times, especially if you get the Hermit card, it's the need to actually have some quiet time. It's the need to actually decide based on you, not other energies. Evaluation. You are making a conscious decision to raise your vibration of love. Everything you're doing right now, I do feel is coming from a place of love. Even when we're triggered, when we're not aware of it, it is still coming from a place of love. That's our direct intent. It's not that we knowingly go in. Yeah, it's you are doing everything you have within your power to be grounded, to be responsible. Cause and effect in reverse. It's like, I'll read this in the upright to you. You are aware that the love you create in your thoughts is an agent of change and the foundation of your results. Psychically speaking, I am tuning into a co-parenting situation. This can be past tense or present tense, or in general, family. It doesn't have to be that this person has children, right? There is an external situation going on that you have absolutely nothing to do with. And at times when you view it, it's frustrating, but you know, you could be a fly on the wall to this situation. Now, this could be a very past tense situation. I'm feeling if somebody in the past was pointing the finger at you, it's almost like you're saying, no, this has nothing to do with me. I can't do anything about this right now. But you may have a similar theme playing out in your own, in some shape or form. You're also, many of you, I do feel, are just having to, you're in alignment and you're very much taking a lot of accountability with cause and effect. Potentially is like playing the game of chess. So I do find this to be very positive. You have no intent moving forward being codependent. You have no intent moving forward being a victim. You've got no intent moving forward playing that chess, being manipulative. What is to be. Hey, Sarah, that's what I'm hearing. So it's total alignment to the point. You're trusting in this process. Yep, you're checking your emotions. You're not living in fear anymore. You know that if that another person or other people around you, and I do feel some of you that are in a very good relationship, maybe just making very, very firm, strong boundaries with people and not entertaining it. And I can't believe your reading is so long. But it's been very enjoyable. Just in the vibration of your growth, I think it's been very, very, very positive, and I think you guys are going to be super proud of yourselves this month of how you can completely do a 360. And the laws of attraction, actually, this person is going to move with you. I do feel they're going to be doing the same things in their own life. And I do feel in a way, if your energy had been a lot in the masculine and you're moving into your feminine energy, I feel this is very beneficial. Whoever you are watching, your intuition side, because this other person is going to come in with a very strong shoulders and they're going to help you move through. Now, this can be a romantic partner, and for many of you, I'm feeling that. Also, in a codependent situation, I do feel there can be a distance between you, either that you're both working a lot, and I am saying some of you may also meet somebody at work. Be careful. Attempt to... This cycle's coming to a completion because the crowning energy is a 10, so it's an ending and a new beginning. So whatever it was before is going to be very different. If you have been struggling within a relationship, it's going to transform. It's moving through these energies and knowing this too shall pass. It is balancing out. I do feel you guys can be dealing with children. It can be also healing. I'm also seeing finances, but a lot going on. Final card. Crown chakra, 12th house. You guys have got this in the bag, okay? Move forward. If you do get triggered during the month and you want to have another check-in, I will be doing mid-months. I'll be doing earth, air, fire, water. I'll be live, hopefully, more than likely. Because I do tend to like to come to you guys during the month live so that if you have questions, you can ask me and I can tune into you as an individual. Love and light. I feel your read's really positive and I do feel you got some surprises there. Have fun, guys.